Hello, everybody, and welcome to But I'll Take a Pinot Grigio, a Top Chef airing. This is a mini episode, and we're getting all the words out with no problem at all, which is great.
Yeah,
I
exactly. It it's the full moon
I'm
and the storm that's happening. We are all fucked up.
Yeah, it is an actual rainy night in Georgia right now as we do
Mhm.
this.
Mhm.
I am Jeff,
Yeah.
the resident restaurant and hospitality industry expert. With me is Sunday, who is expert on all other things, especially our business. So tell them all what's going on.
Hi y'all. Sunday, pop culture professor, self-proclaimed expert, newbie to the Top Chef world. We do have a lot of business. We have been busy little bees. We were just talking before we
Hmm.
got on about how much we have been doing. So when by the time this drops, we'll have the latest Top Chef episode that's out there. It was three or four. I can't remember. Y'all keep me honest. And then, of course, like the vintage Vanderpump Rules, we are sliding into season 4, and it is top shelf business. So that's Tuesdays and
It is
Fridays.
good.
Ladies of London. Ladies of London this week. So Emily, our former socialite turned psychologist, cannot be with us. So Jeff and Brooke are going to pinch hit for them, and that'll be there. That'll be Thursdays, and of course, Vintage Fridays is Vanderpump Rules season 4. So any day of the week, you can just pop in, listen to us, you know, have a sit down, do some
Be
fellowshipping.
entertained. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the
Mm-hmm.
fellowship every day.
Yep.
Lots to get into. I'm excited. So this was your number
Yeah.
one Last Chance Kitchen here.
Yes. First one. First one. And all I could think about was what the hell has Nana been doing this whole time?
Oh, I
Just
thought you
hanging
were
out by the
gonna.
pool?
All you could think about was the massive sponsorships thrown at us
Oh,
here.
yes.
It's
Well, this
heavy.
is
It's
Last
heavy.
Chance Kitchen brought to you by Wells Fargo.
Yep. For years though, it was the Hidden Valley Last Chance Kitchen. So all sponsored by Hidden Valley Ranch. That was the salad days, way
They,
long ago. Good times
they're
though.
upgrading.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also we'll get to it. We just got done a little while ago with our weekly challenge,
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
our
we
cook
did.
challenge, where you challenged me to combine liver mush and crab, and
Yeah.
it went well. We'll talk about it later, but
It did.
look
Jeff
for
is
that
2 for 2.
video.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I
Hmm.
forgot to tell people to go to our socials at Take a Pinot Pod. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. And YouTube is where you kind of get to see some of the more behind the scenes stuff. You can get like full episodes, things that don't make it into the podcast. You can kind of see us, yuck it up behind the scenes. But all of that's on YouTube. So head there if you want more of us, because you know you do.
It's there. Yeah, like you said, they're wondering if Nana had gotten herself together by the time we meet them here in Last Chance Kitchen. Has she calmed down from the
Mm-hmm.
chatter? Has she gotten collected? Brittany's
Mm.
here. She says this was a big wake up call, so she's coming in ready to go. It did give me a
Okay.
minute to go look up her place in Charlotte, Stagione, modern Italian. It looked awesome. Stagione, just one,
Mm.
singular, just one. It's not a
Just Stagioni,
just the one.
and
Yeah.
that's
Really
in
interesting
Charlotte.
intro. That is, yep, it's still in Charlotte.
Okay,
You can
okay.
get rid of all. Um, Really interesting way to get started here. We got Tom cooking away in front of them, so a little change of pace. Your old
Mm,
grumpy grump Tom is on the other side of things. Asking them questions though, so still intimidating. It's so much of what's going on here, but he's doing something pretty cool. Like while he's asking them about the dishes that got eliminated, and I'm sure that gets their wheels turning. Because a lot of times they do challenge people like to make a dish that they've gotten knocked out on, and so they have to revisit it and things like that. So I'm sure they're wondering
yeah,
if that's going on. But he's cooking up the first dish he ever got to put on a menu, braised
really
red
quick.
snapper. Yeah,
Sunday has a question.
please.
What is Tom's background? He mentioned the Mondrian, I guess, in this little segment
Yeah,
right here.
he
But what is
was
his background?
where he's talking about, that was like early 90s or right around into 90s. He was like one of Food and Wine's best top 10 chefs. Like when I was
Mm.
in, let's go with middle school, high school, I started getting some of those, but
I'll
Tom was
say
like on the cover of those. I was trying to decide on what I wanted to say my age was for a second.
yeah, not
But
not
so
middle school, sir.
that's when he's working on himself up, but he was you know, a rising star for and came to be a pretty big chef. Went in New York, had his own place, Craft. After he had
Mm.
run, what's the name of it? I'll have to come back to that.
Don't
But
you
he
love it when I
ran
ask
this.
you questions you don't know the answers to? Don't you love when I do that?
Yeah, I can't believe I can't think of the name of this place. That he ran for a long, long time. But then he started Kraft and then Kraft Witch, and then he got his sons involved, and they've gone on to do all kinds of things. So by the time he started this 20 years ago, like he was a very seasoned vet, you know.
Mm. Yeah, because I mean, 20 years of Top Chef too. That's not nothing.
Yeah, a lot of Italian, a lot of seafood. Like I said, he has a
Mm.
whole sandwich thing. So I would have said years ago they would have called him like a chef's kind of thing, where people love to go eat his food all the time, and he just had like a good presence and represented everybody pretty well.
Okay,
And
all
yeah,
right. Well, I
I
was
do love the
wondering since
questions.
yeah, I was wondering since like the command that we were supposed to assume that he had, right? Like as he's like standing there cooking and they've put this table right there, it was obviously set up for us to understand that like, the master is performing here and they are absorbing.
Yeah, and going back to a dish, he put on a menu almost 40 years ago. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a big feeling for a young chef when you get to do that. So pretty neat story. Um, which leads him to the challenge, and he wants them to put on a plate. We've talked about telling a story on a plate. Well, this is a big one. This is what he's telling them to do. You got, um, I don't remember, it was 20 or 30 minutes, and it's like, tell us a story about you. um, which I think is pretty neat and a kind of daunting task for the number one right out of the gate, like
Yeah,
because it's not a lot of direction. It's just like go for it in this kitchen you've never been in and you don't know how anything works or what's on. Like, tell me exactly who you are as a person. Like, all right,
exactly. And to summarize your identity in
yeah,
just like the 30 seconds that it takes for him to explain it seems like, like just like sometimes my students, the hardest part is just coming up with what they want to say. So, like, that was really on the spot. They were, but they didn't seem to have a problem with it though.
no, they both got fish going. Nana kind of had a story about cooking stuff with her mom. She's doing some salmon, getting some like flavors from Ghana. Brittany's doing some halibut, which goes into the a salad. She's doing a panzanella. This was one of those dishes that would have caught viewers' attention years ago. Like Padma was real tough on panzanellas. I remember a few times because like it just wouldn't work out. People wouldn't have the toasted bread. People, there's a lot of stuff you can mess up in the simple salad. And she
Yeah.
used to, that was like
Um,
one of those dishes that she would particularly tear apart. So I always
I
like when it
forgot
shows up.
that I forgot that Nana was from Ghana. That kind of slipped my mind too. But I did notice with with Brittany, and the only reason I notice it is because I have a house full of folks that do this. She narrates her thought process out loud. She's
Yes.
talking, she's talking out loud as she's doing it. She's like, "Okay, well, I need to go to the pantry. I need to do this. I need to chop this." And I just have a couple of folks in my that live with me that do that same thing, and I'm constantly like, "Are you talking to me? Are you
Right.
talking to me?" And most of the time, it's like, "No, I'm not talking to you." So I thought that was
Uh,
like kind of charming that she was doing that.
do they tell you they're thinking out loud?
I mean, I
And
know
I'm
by
like,
now, but like lots
that's
of times,
talking. That's talking.
yeah,
Is what you
exactly.
like.
That's
I'm
how
not
talking
talking. I'm
works.
just thinking out loud. Both
Ethan's
of
been a
them looked,
narrator his whole life.
yeah. Also, they're gonna start getting asked questions a lot in Last Chance Kitchen. Like when the other people are hanging out, they're gonna. So if you're doing that kind of verbal cue of just like telling yourself everything, you're gonna have to like get interrupted to answer somebody's question. So that could be tough. Um,
Is it always just two people in Last Chance Kitchen? Like they just
Almost
rotate
always.
one in, one out. Yeah, one in, one out, one in, one out, like that.
Yeah, every now and then there'll be like three of them. That's the only way. I mean,
Mm,
it's usually
okay.
just two people. Yeah. Like he
Yeah.
hasn't sent somebody home before. Then the next week, because they were both so even, like he couldn't pick somebody, and then the next week two people go home to kind of even it
Ah,
out. Yeah,
bummer. Bummer.
it's Last Chance Kitchen, man. It's hard. It's hard out in those
Yeah.
streets right there.
Yeah.
Both of them looking a lot more comfortable in this kitchen. You know, maybe it's just been a
Mm.
little. It's taken them a minute. You know, they're getting their footing. Um, Nana was getting weird. Got the fish looking great, and then like started the set. I don't know. She was like just starting it. I started to get real worried about the time.
Me too. Me
Right off the
too.
bat.
Because they both did fish too, which is, it takes less time to cook like fish, and so I was hoping that that was an intentional choice, but Nana starts to get behind almost immediately because like
Hmm.
she's even like Brittany's talking about, okay, well, while my stuff rests, I'm gonna play this, and you even hear Brittany shout, "Hey man, you got a protein on that plate yet?" Like, wrap it up, girl. Like, hurry
Yeah,
up, because whew, Nan be farting around, lollygagging.
that makes her a lollygagger. But she
The
did it.
lollygagger.
After
Yes,
they
she
go
did.
up, they're they both make it on time. That's big for these folks. And Nana won. She stuck in there. Like I said, the panzanella is tough. A lot can go wrong. So I think she just kind of picked something tough and just kind of tripped
And
herself up on that.
yeah, and Tom didn't really have anything bad to say about the losing dish. Like he was very complimentary. Also, though, I don't know how helpful it is for everybody to keep telling her, like, I know you can cook. I know you can make good food. And it's like, is that a compliment? I mean, because I'm leaving in the third week. I don't know how helpful it is to know that everybody thinks that I can make good food until now. I just
Yeah, I mean,
don't know.
because it is people trying to come in some kind of like, not mentor role, but just, a little guy who's been around, what is it? What is it that's blocking you? Maybe we can talk it out and then you can get back to, kicking ass like you normally do. But hadn't had a lot of time to do that. So it's going to be
Yeah, not in this setting. You got to get
no.
done or get out.
Well, she does. She's the hometown girl has to go home. Nana sticks around and
Yeah.
pretty cut and dry. That was a pretty easy LCK. Sometimes there's like a lot of flash. Sometimes people are like, I mean, I'm talking hands tied behind their back, can only use one hand, got to
Oh
partner
my
up with
gosh.
somebody else. Like, it's more shenanigans are likely to happen in Last Chance Kitchen, but first one, they kept it simple for these two. They got stuff on the plate. So, success.
Okay. Well, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If you were doing this challenge, what would you put on the plate? Like, what would you prepare to do? Like, put who you are to show who you are.
Honestly, if I watched Tom do that, I would probably want to do the first thing I put on a menu. I was probably like 21, something like that, and I'd helped out like design a pizza, help design a sandwich, like do the sauce on a thing or something like that, part of it. But I had this idea of a Bloody Mary. I was working at a like, college pizza pasta sandwich place. The closest experience I have to like a sir, if you will, from our Vanderpump world. I was there from like 19 to 25. Like a lot happened. But anyway,
Okay.
I did a Bloody Mary pasta. So it had like onions, pickled okra, garlic, couple, stuff you would put on the skewers. Had a little
Mm-hmm.
lemon lime cream with the tomato sauce, sausage and shrimp with penne pasta. That was my
I
first
like
dish,
it.
and I haven't made that in forever. Uh, so
Well,
I think I would
challenge
try to do that.
accepted.
Yeah, I would probably try to do that. Well,
Sunday loves a Bloody Mary.
speaking of challenges, we just got done with one.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we
You
did.
wanna tell
Super.
us all about it?
Okay, so we're doing a bit where we pull inspiration like for the challenge from each episode. And so of course it was liver mush or the color challenge. And as a person who loves the processed meat, I picked liver mush. Immediately regretted it when Jeff pulled the second element anonymously from the hat, which was crab. So he had to use liver mush and crab to prepare something for me, and I have been really worried about it all week. He's been so cagey, no hint, no nothing.
No.
So we go to eat it, and you guys can go and watch the video. I am real nervous at first. Like, you can see my face just being like, "Ooh, what if I don't like it?" Because I was so worried. You know what a pathological pleaser I am. I was so worried it was going to be like, "Bleh, bleh, bleh," like, but I ate it. It was really good. It was
None
it was a
taken. Oh wait,
sandwich.
you didn't say the no
I
offense
didn't
part.
do that,
Sorry.
but I was afraid that was going to happen. But it was a sandwich, and it had a lot of competing textures, which I love. I love a crusty bread. It had a creamy crab salad. The liver mush gave it like a kind of a solid bedrock of things. It had some pickled elements. It was really good. I'll let you say more about what it was, but it was really good. And you and I split the sandwich, and I ate every single bite of mine and was eyeballing what was left on yours, but I'm a lady, so I wasn't
That's
going
right.
to just put my face on it. But it was really good. And this is 2 for 2, where I was like, this shit is gross. Number one, pork ice cream. Ugh, who's going to do that? Me, I will. And then now crab and liver mush. It was really good. And so I am continuing to be impressed by you, Jeff, for real. I mean, until
It's
you
fun.
disappoint me, then it's over.
Getting to flex all kinds of muscles here. Yeah. Are
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
ready to pick another one?
Um, yes, because I already decided which challenge that I want to go to. I
I
think
feel
it's
like this
fairly
is a tough
obvious.
choice for you. Oh, is it?
Okay.
I don't know
Well,
if it is
yeah.
obvious.
So you're right. You're right. Between wine and
Wine and
yummy
Southern
foods,
food. This is.
Southern food, which is literally every day for me.
Mhm.
Um, this is Sophie's choice right here. I'm gonna take wine. I'm gonna take wine.
So how do we? So that's pairings that go with all three different
Well,
kinds of wine.
yeah, but
So
I
with
feel like we
white.
could loosen it up. Like, I feel like we
Okay.
could loosen it up. That right, like that just wine. But I need you to know it's got to be white wine, right? It needs to be. And I enjoy a rosé, a Sauvignon Blanc, a Pinot
A
Grigio,
Vanderpump
if you will.
Rosé.
That's like literally what I'm drinking right now. I'm quite literally drinking Vanderpump Rosé right now, everybody. So I think why I'm gonna choose wine. That was hard though because
I'm
that
surprised. I mean, I thought it was going to be tough for you. So, all
me
right, a
too. Because
tasting
let me
flight
say
then is
though,
what we're going with.
really quick though, because I have been thinking about Brittany's dish. Like, I know that it failed miserably. What was that? Collard wrapped pork sausage. That had the
Yeah.
potential to be so good. Like, I've been thinking about that. Like, I think I'm going to make it this week. And of course, I will never execute like she did. But it seemed like it would have been so good if she had just got it done. So okay, but wine. I'm sticking with wine. I'm sticking with wine.
Okay.
Wine's the thing.
All right. Well, you got to tell me when to stop then. When
Okay.
these are foods from North and South Carolina here.
All right. No whammies. No whammies. Big money. Big money. Stop.
The pink pepper paper says fried green tomatoes. So you get some Southern food in there anyway.
Look how the universe provides.
Wine
See?
and fried green tomatoes. Your
I
autobiography.
mean,
Here we go.
exactly, exactly. That sounds like, girl dinner for me right there. During the pandemic, because, we didn't have shit else to do, I started a garden and I was growing tomatoes and I made a ton of fried green tomatoes using all
Yeah.
kinds of things. Like I would use flour and then I would use cornmeal and then I would use breadcrumbs and I was just doing this because I had, tomatoes can sometimes really grow in abundance. So, and then the tree fell on my garden and it died. So
Oh,
stories end
I
sad.
didn't know it
I
was going
know
to be a
stories end sad.
tragic ending to that.
I
I
know it
didn't
was
see
like
that
cucumbers
coming.
are just dying on the vine, but those were trying times. We were all
They
we were
were.
all
They
fighting for our
were.
life. Yeah.
Thanks for taking us back. Um,
Okay.
for something fun
Wine,
though, a
fried green tomatoes.
flight wine. We'll sort that out
Okay.
with
Okay.
fried green
You
tomatoes. Yeah.
have you got some fun stuff for us though too, right? Like to pivot to, speaking of pivot, Brittany, to pivot to something a little more fun. Our Rex, you have one, I have one.
I was gonna say, you keep it fun. Hit me with your fun wreck of the week.
Okay, well, I think I set that up kind of wrong. Because this one
This
is
is
not
also
as
tragic.
this one is not as frivolous as some of my past ones, but inspired by Greg Collier and the way that they are kind of like honoring the African diaspora in Southern food. It's really fascinating. Anything that is like anthropological in that way is really fascinating to me. So, and you may have heard of this, but there's this series on Netflix called High on the Hog, and it explores the presence of Black culture and African American culture in different foodways, and of course the South. But they're in Atlanta, they're in New Orleans, they're in Memphis, they're in Harlem. I think there's one in Detroit, and it's just really interesting. And the one that I picked to watch was called Our Founding Chefs, and it was a focus on three enslaved chefs, specifically one, James Hemings, whose sister was Sally Hemings, who was
Oh,
enslaved by Thomas Jefferson,
yes.
had 6 children by Thomas Jefferson. And fun fact, James Hemings was classically and professionally trained in kitchens in France, and he invented macaroni and cheese, which they called macaroni pie. He invented French fries, and he invented what we understand to be ice cream right now. And they focus on him. They focus on Hercules Posey, who was George Washington's enslaved person, and Thomas Downey, who was a free black man who was the oyster king of New York City. And so, another fun fact, catering was invented by black chefs in the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s, because they had a lot of limitations. So they would just like set up a cart, or they would set up a service where they would sell their food. And so that's the one that I watched. It's season 1, episode 3, called Our Founding Chefs, but there's a lot. There's 2 seasons, 4 episodes each, but it's really, if you're interested in like the nerdy history of how our food gets to our table, it's really good. And I was just really inspired by Greg's conversation and the farm that we went to. So it's really good. You should watch some of
That
them.
sounds awesome. Yeah, and fun
Yeah,
and
it's
super fun.
it is. It is good.
Just gonna keep saying it.
I mean,
I went
well,
a little more. You talked about the anthropology of it all. I went that route also. I have two. I have to kind
oh,
of balance it out. This one is more food writing than it is food like we've been doing. Not like a recipe
okay.
book, not a cookbook, but just a story called The Edible South: The Power of Food and the Making of an American Region. So it's kind of just a story on how the South developed, I mean, over hundreds of years with a focus on how the food got them there and how the food came to be because of a lot of the things you just mentioned. Obviously, that is featured heavily. It's out of the University of North Carolina Press, by a woman named Marcy Cohen Ferris. She also has a book. I think this is something you'll like: Matzo Ball Gumbo, talking about the blending of some cultures again there.
I do enjoy
But
it.
very cool. The Chapel Hill University Press is who I got this through years ago. It's about 10 or 12 years old. Very cool. But did want to bring some recipes because I was inspired by Greg Collier and the sides as well. One of my favorites that really didn't get mentioned is I mean, they got brought up though, luckily, is grits. This is a little one right here by an awesome chef called by the name of Bill Neal. This is the Good Old Grit Cookbook. It talks all about the genius of grits. It has grits in every recipe. It's not goofy though. Like, it gets scientific. It's very good. It's thorough. And it's a really cool deep dive into one thing. I mean, most Southern cookbooks will have grits, grit cakes, maybe, lots of stuff with cornmeal. This is like, forget all that. We'll do pancakes, we'll do savory items, we'll do casseroles, but it's all grits. And Bill
Yes.
Neal is an awesome North Carolina chef. One of those cool guys who likes to cook in his old band t-shirts forever and came to kind of represent what most people know as shrimp and grits today from the low country. Really awesome guy. So
Yes.
there's two for me.
Um, so that's like a nice like a round out to do it because we are also going to talk to Chef Jim Smith this week
Yes.
too, and so we can start to kind of ask him about kind of how he has thoughts on this particular season. Where is his restaurant? Do you know?
Yeah, he's from Alabama. He's it's outside of Montgomery, I think. Might be a little more south, but we'll find out. Jim was on two seasons of Top Chef, Charleston and Kentucky, and he's from Alabama, so lots of Southern food. He's big on seafood, especially from the region, and just a really fun guy. I'm very much looking forward to it. So should be fun. So I hope y'all join us
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Like we said, the video of our cook challenge will be up, and I will be working on flight pairing and fried green tomatoes, which I will just do
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
an ice cream sandwich somehow and make it combine everything together.
I mean, listen, you had me at wine, and then again with fried green tomatoes. So
Well, then we got it.
I think this is gonna be easy peasy for you. This is like throwing a softball right here.
Oh, any more
But
stuff to
definitely,
catch us up on?
yeah, I was just gonna say, make sure that you like, follow, or review us, especially wherever you get your podcast, because that kind of helps us get seen and helps us kind of stay in the algorithm of categories. And of course, just follow us on Take a Pinot Pod. We've got lots of fun stuff. We've got some guests coming. I'm gonna go and do some fun things with other folks. So Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We are all over the place. And I would like to say a special hello to some of our new listeners. We have some folks in Greece and France and the Netherlands. And so just in saying hello to all those folks.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. And Sunday, next time I see you, we'll be discussing Foggy London Town, I guess. So
Yeah, that's
that
right.
that that
And
should be
Vanderpump
fun.
Rules, too. We can't
That's
forget
right.
our OG dummy.
Never, never. Thanks for listening,
That's right.
everybody.